Hey guys, Crewman here, and I'm really excited for this one. In this video, we are going to talk about how to triple mine iron hash algorithm or fish hash with Karlsson hash and Pyrin hash. You can see throughout the whole video, I will have my overclock settings right over there, and I'm going to quickly just go through it. I don't want to take forever on this video, but this is game changing. You can essentially double your profits on your 3070s by triple mining Ironfish or fish hash and a core algorithm along with zil. Now, there are some downfalls that come with it, and it's not perfect, but I will get to those shortly. But you can essentially take your GPU mining rig from this to this. So, and you can see the power difference isn't that much either, and I'll go into detail in that in a second. So without further ado, let's get to it, and let me show you how to double your profits. So there's a few disclaimers, okay? The first is that my overclocks are not yours. These overclocks took quite a while, as I had to learn how to overclock fish hash, and then I had to learn how it interacts with core algorithms, as fish hash does not work like your typical algorithm. Second, the power usage of these 3070s now are off the charts. You will be using more power than kapow. So you need to set a power limit. This is very important, and most importantly, you need to make sure that your rig can handle 3070s using up to 175 watts of power. Now, I would not go any higher than that, but you could easily crank these things over 200 watts if you want. And we all know 3070s cap out at about 150 watts on kapow. So these use more than kapow, not by much, but they do use more. So if your rig cannot handle mining kapow, you cannot triple mine. Don't try it, or you will destroy your rigs and cause a fire, and we don't want that. So that is the biggest thing. Again, I will reiterate, please do not do this if you cannot mine kapow. It stinks because you are essentially doubling your profit for only the cost of your electric, and you're basically turning your 3070 into two 3070s. But like I said, if you cannot handle the power, do not do it. Okay, so let's start with why this makes this so great. Now, let me go back to my rig that was only mining iron hash, right? So you see it right here. This 3070 rig is mining iron and zil, and it's using about 110-ish watts at the software. Now you can use that. You can see that same rig right here. It is mining just Karlsson hash, like a Karlsson hash fork. I don't remember which one it is. I just got it up to show it to you. You can see it's using between 85 to 90 to 95 megahash. So we'll call it 90 just to be, so we'll call it about 90. So you have 90 here on just a single Karlsson hash coin. And you've got about 100 and what? Let's say 110, 112 watts to be average on Ironfish if a 3070 is just mining Ironfish. So if you take, 110 and you add 90, you're at about 200 to 205 watts if you were to mine both. Like if you were to have one 3080 mine one of them and one 3080 mine another, you'd be at 205 total watts. Yet here we have a 3070 triple mining, and it is doing 38.4 megahash on iron and about 800 megahash on Karlsson. So about 80% of Karlsson and 99 or 98% of iron for a total of about 170 watts. So you're talking almost a 50 to 60 watt reduction. And I will show you a single 3070 that is doing that on a test bench in the garage connected to a PDU right now. Alright guys, so here you can see we are mining fish hash and Pyrin hash, and you can see what I'm getting at the computer screen, and you can see that the GPU is connected to its own power supply. I've got the 3 wires, 2 going to the GPU, 1 going to the riser. If you could run multiple wires to your 3070s, I certainly would recommend it, as using one pushes it pretty close to its limit. But you can see I have 3 right here. They're 6 to 8 pins going to my PMD, which is going to just my 3070. I apologize that it's dark out, but I didn't have good lighting. Anyway, I'm getting between 150 to 153 watts to 165 watts at the PMD, which is wall readings, and KARLASENHASH gets you about 150 to 155. So it's actually very close. So now that you've seen the power, let's get back to the guide. Okay, so you just saw the 3070, and let's get to it, and let me explain these settings to you right here. First, let me actually show you how to create a flight sheet. Okay, so here's what your flight sheet should look like. It should say iron and whatever coin you want with Pyrinhash or KARLASENHASH. I prefer mining everything I can to either K1 Pool or Hero Miners. I will put a K1 link down below. It is an affiliate link. I get like 0.1% of what you mine, like 0.01% of what you mine. So it helps me out, and I certainly appreciate it. But I like K1 Pool for plenty of reasons that I've listed in previous videos. So anyway, you get your miner set up like this. You want to configure both pools in the miner, and you want to open the configuration settings, and you essentially you want to put everything that I have on the left side, and then you want to put your pools properly in here. Pyrinhash at the same time, as they generally behave the same. So obviously you want to set up your set it up for zil mining too. You want to follow these commands. Put your address here. This is simple, just copy and paste. Now, here's where things get a little interesting because of how different Pyrinhash is. Now, if I'm explaining this wrong, I apologize. I mostly understand it. What makes fishhash so unique is that it does not use any of the core, which is why you're able to get such high core performance and not take that much more power, which is actually pretty incredible. You want to keep so these are the best settings I have. An offset of 200. Now, if you raise the offset, you will lower the hash rate because you lower the power, and you will mostly affect the fishhash hash rate, which is weird. Now, your locked core clock, the higher this is, the more power you use with not really any gain. It seems like 1400 is a sweet spot for basically the entire 30 series lineup. And same with the locked core clock at 200 seems to be the sweet spot. For the memory clock, if you're using a 3070, 3060 Ti, 900 seems to be about the sweet spot, as the higher it is, the higher the memory clock, the more power you will use, and you don't really get any gains either. Now, for like the 3080 and the 3090, the higher memory clock you use will usually give you higher memory temperatures as well. So maybe you want to knock that down to about 800. The locked core clock, you want to keep these zil settings, you basically want to keep these the same for 3070 or 3060 Ti. If you're running a 3080 or 3090, you want to crack these down to 900. The dual mode. Now, this is important. The higher the R mode, the more you will get on your core algorithm, which would be your KARLASENHASH, your Pyrinhash, and the less you'll get for fishhash. And the returns are really, really diminishing. You kind of have to find your sweet spot. I found that R21 was my sweet spot, but you could adjust them as you go. But like I said, it seems like R21 is a sweet spot. Now, this is the most important thing, the power limit. If you don't put a power limit, you're going to get like 180 watts at the software. Now, my GPU that I tested on it was underreporting, and I've seen 3070s underreport a little bit or overreport a little bit, but you want to set it at 175 watts. But you don't want to do it in Hive, like as far as where the overclocking tab goes. Let me move this so you can see what I mean. You don't want to do it right over here, or it'll shoot up all of your GPUs to 175 watts. You want to do it in the extra configurations on the miner where you're putting all of these settings at. That's where you want to put it. Now, it'll probably bounce off of it like here, where you kind of get, you get a little bit close. Some of them are getting close, but you don't ever want to go over that number, because I think you get really diminishing returns for more power. I've seen these things use 200 to 230 watts. And if you have the more power hungry ones, like a Strix model or some of the overclocked AIB ones, it is going to use even more. So I would avoid doing that. Pyrinhash is basically the same thing. The only thing you have to note is you have to use different settings for your R mode. Now, I will go over another video on my 40 series. This is just for the 30 series right now. And like I said, the R mode changes. Pyrinhash uses a higher R mode. And I guess the goal would be to, if you have to adjust this, you want to keep your fish hash as close to max as you can, so like 37 to 38, and you want to try to get your Karlsson hash or your prim hash as close to, I don't know, 85 to maybe even 90% if you can. And you want to keep the power limits. I think you don't want to go above 175. You're going to get between 155 to 175. So if your rig can mine Kapow, you're safe. But guys, remember, this uses a ton of power. So you really, 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 really want to be careful. If you don't think you can handle Kapow, do not mine fish hash and a core algorithm. Just stick to fish hash. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope this helps. Fish hash is an incredibly amazing algorithm, and it might be the best one to triple mine with. I'm really excited to share with you the 40 series video. I'll probably get that out tomorrow or maybe later today. Thank you again for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 4,000. It means a lot to me. Your subs really, really help. So if this video helped you, please crack that sub button and hit that like button. Thank you again for watching. Croup Man